The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the bonus show. I have bad news. Polio is back in Nigeria.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that rash was back.
No, that is gone. That is good. You're taking a line from me. Dave stole that from me, everybody. Very good, though. Masterfully done.
Yeah.
Polio is back in Nigeria. The World Health Organization was kind of thinking that this was completely gone, that polio had been eradicated altogether from planet Earth. 2 kids have been paralyzed by the virus for the first time in 2 years, according to the World Health Organization. Both live in northeastern Nigeria. Because
This is the key.
here's the key: Boko Haram controls much of the area in northern Nigeria and northeastern, and they, of course, are anti-vaccination.
Naturally.
I don't know if they have any concept or clue about what vaccinations are. They really just seem like barbarians who want to do nothing but kill and masturbate to Qurans.
When they imprisoned all of those completely innocent people, haphazardly killing some and raping others, I knew that something was wrong, and I didn't need for them to also prevent polio vaccinations to know that something really depraved was going on.
Mm-hmm. Hard to really know what their motives and motivations are for the blocking of vaccines, but vaccines are Western, and anything Western is bad, and their name...
It's a religious movement, just against something Western and that doesn't coincide with the teachings they subscribe to.
Their name means Western education is forbidden.
Right.
That's what their name means. And so this is unfortunate, but if we ever get this Boko Haram thing under control, it doesn't seem like it would be very hard to do if there was international support for this. But maybe we can get this under control again.
And Nigeria is in particular need of getting it under control because a few years ago, I don't know in 2015 or 2014 or 2013, but in 2012, more than half of world polio cases were in Nigeria.
Yes. Nigeria also just has a history of religious folks in there. They have this conspiracy theory that vaccinations are a Western plot to sterilize Muslims. And
that actually makes sense. I mean, that I buy into, but you should still get vaccinated.
Yeah.
No,
so
obviously, I don't believe that that's true.
No, of course. We know you're joking.
Thank you.
And, I got to stop. The rash is really acting up. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
This next story is nuts. I've been reading a lot about it.
Muslim story part 2. So this is the Corsica, France brawl and burkini ban. Yes. What is a burkini? It's a burqa bathing suit. And what happened was that this ban was imposed at a special council session in Cisco because there was this brawl. There was a brawl on a beach when teenagers, local teenagers, non-Muslim, secular, fairer-skinned teenagers observed women wearing burkinis on the beach.
Right.
This angered them.
Very much so.
Bunch of migrants around this area, and so there was some name calling, some throwing of objects, and a brawl broke out. And so after the migrants started fighting back, supposedly with hatchets and harpoons.
Who even casually has harpoons ready in case a fight breaks out?
Well, you're at least at the water. I understand the harpoon thing.
You might have been harpooning
a hatchet?
Yeah, that is weird, right?
Yes.
I always have a trident in my trunk just in case fight with the news team 2.
I have one of those. What are those? The spiked balls on
a mace?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just usually go with a fishing net with hooks all over it.
Right.
Very easy to subdue an attacker. And the hatchet thing is highly disturbing considering what we hear about all over the world with machete attacks and hatchet attacks from Muslims, committed by Muslims. Anyway, so this brawl happens. More people come to support the teenagers, adults. They get their phone calls made. The brawl gets bigger. I guess things calm down. but then the teenagers and people start destroying the cars of the migrants. Maybe the cars have bumper stickers that say, I love Muhammad, praise be his name. And but then, and this isn't in this article, but I read this later, apparently the migrants took to the streets in massive numbers and started destroying the cars of locals. I read that this happened. Not 100% sure about this one, but that's what I read. The website didn't seem like something that I should fully invest in. But anyway, that's what happened. So anyway, so now they called a special meeting. There's a burkini ban. And this follows other similar types of bans in France. And one that I was highly critical of some time ago. It was the burqa ban.
Right.
In certain places. They had this full burqa ban. And I was highly against it at the time. Now I'm hearing about this and the burkini ban. And I have some interesting thoughts, but what are your thoughts on it?
I think the key issue for me, obviously the brawls I'm against destruction of property, I'm against physical violence, I'm against using cleavers or mallets or whatever, tridents to attack people. I'm fully against that. I denounce it and condemn it completely. I've been going back and forth about France's harsh commitment to secularism, which started with the burqa ban. Because, okay, on the one hand, specifically with the burqa, I can understand the argument that it is almost like it's a danger if you can't identify people in public, if they are the victims of crimes, if they are perpetrators of crimes, and you have someone who is completely covered. However, there's also no law against wearing a mask in public. So if you're going to say, well, you can't wear the burqa for safety reasons, but you're not banning costumes, right? You're not banning masks or somebody dressed like Spider-Man walking around. So it seems incorrect to also specifically target religious garments that are connected to one religion. And of course, I also support religious freedom to the extent that it doesn't impede or in some way infringe on anyone else's actions. At the same time, if you see someone with a burqa or with a burkini and you are moved to be violent against that person or to insult them, there's also something wrong with you. I completely, some people say, oh, but, there are women who they say they want the burqa, but it's only because it's all they know. And they've basically grown up in a world where anything other than the burqa is considered an affront to God and men and whatever. I'm sensitive to that argument. However, being moved to violence, if you do believe that a woman who says, I want to wear the burqa has been brainwashed, and we could debate whether that's true. Let's say you believe that. Still, why would you become violent if someone wears a burqa? I mean, that just seems counterproductive, doesn't it?
I think it's just the basic core animalistic instincts of some people. They don't have those layers of kind of intelligence built on this
logic.
This animal. Yeah, there's no logic to it.
It just seems short-sighted. What will you solve by attacking people because there's burkinis? If you are concerned about the way in which the burkini and burqas are tied into the treatment of women in Islam, great. I'm concerned about that as well. But how is insulting people on a beach going to in any way help to illuminate that?
It's not. It's not at all. But the ban itself, now the city councilors or whoever imposed the ban will tell you that the reason they did it is because when people are wearing these, tensions flare. And they are banning these so that tensions will not flare as a result of people wearing them. That's the reason. It's
a difficult argument because you could say, listen, when somebody walks around with a Confederate flag in the United States, tensions flare.
Mine does.
And if you say, well, we're going to ban that flag, you are talking about government limiting a form of speech. Now, where does it get blurry where you say, well, it's a direct incitement to violence? Many people would say, no, the Confederate flag is not a direct incitement to violence, right? Free speech has limits. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. You could argue that walking around with a Confederate flag is a direct incitement to violence. I don't believe that it is right now, but that's the argument some people would make.
Yep. It's not, but this is what they feel they have to do to, at the same time, in the back of some of their minds, they're thinking, well, this is a secular nation. This stuff shouldn't be happening anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to support this ban.
By the way, the last place I personally saw the burkini was when I was in Tel Aviv last summer.
Yeah.
And when you're at the beach in Tel Aviv, as you start to walk south, there's a part that's near like the downtown, not downtown, but one of the primary sort of cosmopolitan areas named Gordon Beach in that area. And that, as you start to walk south and getting closer to Yaffo, which is a historically more Muslim Arab area, you start to see the burqas on the beach, and it's just filled with people hanging out on the beach with burqas. And there's quite a big area where there's intermingling of every population you could imagine. And fortunately, while I was there, nobody could care. People could not care less whether you had a burqa or a bikini. I mean, on the same beach, you had burqas and bikinis, and it was pretty interesting to see, actually.
Yeah, of course, I think that the burkini makes far more sense than those pictures you see of people sitting on the beach with full burqas that are black in the middle of summer. I mean, that just is hilarious. But at least the burkini, you can cool down. You can go.
From a practical standpoint.
Get in the water,
fair enough,
practical standpoint. All right.
Although maybe religiously it would not line up with someone's values.
Maybe not.
Not mine.
Yeah, maybe not. It's really not too different from a scuba diving suit.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Uncle Sam goes for gold. 2 is the headline of this article.
Yeah.
It's just talking about the taxes imposed on Olympic gold medal winners. Apparently, you get $25,000 for gold, $15,000 for silver, $10,000 for bronze.
Right.
Bronze, and this is paid for by the United States Olympic Committee. It's taxable, of course, immediately, and if you're in the top tax bracket, the rate would be 39.6%, and that is $9,900 on your $25,000 for a gold.
I assume most Olympians are not in the top tax bracket.
Yes,
Yeah.
so you would be paying less in taxes. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't know what the payouts were. I knew you could turn around and sell your Olympic gold medal. I looked into that a little bit.
Sure.
And the prices are about the same. At least of the ones I found on eBay, a bronze was going for about $10,000.
Right.
And there was only one gold that I saw that was on the site at all, it seems. That was going for about $20,000.
I can't imagine buying someone else's Olympic medal. Like even if I thought it was interesting, I just wouldn't care to have it, you know?
Here's the thing. From what I could tell, none of these belong to someone else. But in the case of ties, there have to be extra gold medals made, and ones of each color, I suppose.
Oh.
And so there are some extras that end up in people's possession.
I assume it's just more of the IOC funneling money into their back pockets somehow.
Yeah. Someone from it's such a corrupt organization that I could imagine just someone personally saying, I'm going to sell these extra medals on eBay.
I perfectly legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happening. But anyway, they fetch a pretty penny, and Michael Phelps will have to pay about $55,000 in taxes on his medal victory payouts
From this Olympics.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's it.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.